What's the hardest thing you've endured being poor? As my marriage began to unravel, my, then, husband became worse and worse with money. First, he wouldn't come home for days, leaving the kids and me with no car. That meant if I needed groceries, I had to walk 8 blocks to one store or 11 to another and carry them home. I couldn't ask my father for a lot of help, as my mother had cancer. More often than not, I was helping her, and my father was filling in when I couldn't. One day, I found I had no bread or milk for my children. I went to the cabinet where I kept emergency money, only to find the jar empty. The proud papa took it. I scooped up whatever spare change I could find and went to the grocery. At the counter, I found I was short. I was ready to cry. I tried to think of which I should put back, when the grocer told me someone behind me paid for my groceries. I cried as I took the bag and said thank you. Walking home I thought it couldn't get any worse, but I was wrong. The jerk stopped his paychecks from going to our joint account. He wouldn't pay the mortgage or utilities. I had a bank book that he forgot about, and with that I paid bills for as long as I could. I put my children on food stamps to put food on the table. I put a lien on my house since you couldn't qualify for services if you owned a house. Passover was coming and I didn't have a penny. Agencies that claimed to help made you feel like you were robbing them if you asked for food. I got one parcel and was sick. Everything was dated a month or two before, the juice, other items, and the raw chicken which smelled so bad I threw it out. I begged my brother for $200 so we could have a nice holiday. He gave it to me and never let me forget it. If he needed a favor, he reminded me that I owed him. I was so ashamed I never told my parents. The house went to foreclosure about the same time the utilities were shut off. I borrowed money from my father to move and pay the first month's rent on an apartment. When I finally started working I put aside $10 a month to pay him back. It was hard, and I barely made ends meet. My kids hadn't gotten new clothes at this point in nearly 2 years. I was still chasing my separated husband to get him to court. Finally, I hired 3 court servers for $200 apiece to wait at each exit at his job. He was served his subpoena to appear in court. After some delays didn't come with a lawyer, fired his lawyer in court, the judge asked him why he didn't take care of his family. He said I'm having problems with their mother. The judge said why didn't you buy food? Pay for the house? Clothes? What did you do for your children? He kept trying to say he was having a problem with me and the judge got angry. What did you do with your money? The judge asked. We presented photos of his new sexy sports car bought with the money that was supposed to take care of his children. The judge told him I'm done talking to you. Then she asked me what I had done for my children. I showed her the paperwork for food stamps, proof I sold jewelry and used the bank book I had to pay utilities. I just got a job, so we were under a roof. She told my then husband you earn almost 3 times as much as your wife and you did nothing for your children? She ordered child support at the maximum allowable by law, as well as back pay of money he should have paid since January. It was now October. He screamed, where will I get that kind of money? The judge said sell your sexy car, that doesn't have room for your 3 children. My attorney stepped up and said we would like to show more mercy than he showed to his children. He can pay off his wife in semi-monthly checks. He took the deal, never realizing he would be paying me for 3 years. The extra money coming in meant my kids could get new clothes for the first time in 2 years. I paid my father back the money he lent me and I gave my brother $300 when he lent me $200. I told him the extra $100 was for him to shove it anywhere he wanted. I didn't want him to talk to me like I was dirt again. In spite of my brother's protests that he didn't mean to humiliate me, he did in fact keep the extra $100. Today, I'm a bit better off. But I still need to watch my money. Sometimes I get depressed and buy junk I don't need. But I try hard to avoid that.